hope you're having a really nice day. I hope you're keeping well and all that jazz. So today's video I've been really excited to show you. I've been planning it for like a week and a bit. But my favourite TV show in the whole wide world is The Vicar of Dibley, and if you don't know what that is, I mean, come on, how could you not know? It is about a vicar called Geraldine Granger, and she is replacing an elderly vicar who unfortunately dies from a little strange little village in like the English countryside called Dibley. And then I managed to find this on Amazon, which I was so excited about. It's basically just it says The Great Big Companion to Dibley, so it's like all the scripts from the TV show, but it's like compiled into one book, and there's loads of like behind the scenes thing, and I don't know if you can see that, but it's Alice and Hugo, and oh, honestly, couple goals, like actual couple goals, best TV couple ever, and you can write on that one. But yeah, I was so excited when I found this. So like, obviously surrounding this book, this is like the the inspiration for the video that I'm planning today that I want to show you is books if you like The Vicar of Dibley. Cup of tea. I've got some well, I was going to say Marmite tea. No, this isn't a Marmite mug, because you know it's like a classic weird British delicacy. You know, you're either a lover of Marmite or you're a hater of Marmite. I am a lover of Marmite and Marmite mugs, so cheers. Ah, perfect temperature. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. Right, so we're going to get started into the video. The first book I'm going to talk about is In the Time We Lost by Carrie Hope Fletcher. Now, Carrie Hope Fletcher is one of my favourite YouTubers and authors, which is why I had the cup of tea at the start of the video, because in a lot of her older videos she would have like a cup of tea and, you know, cheers and all that, so it's kind of like a dedication to her. But this book is about a little village called Ondingside, and it's like in this, I think it's the Scottish Highlands or something like that anyway, and a woman called Luna comes to the village. She's just had like an awful time just in her like private life and stuff like that, so she kind of comes to this village to sort of relax and unwind, and then a freak snowstorm just suddenly hits in the middle of July, and it freezes the whole village, and it kind of stops in time. I'm not going to say anything else, but this, as soon as I like picked this book up, I just Dibley straight away. It just made us think of Dibley, like a little weird village that nobody really knows about. And oh, this has just got such like a lovely mixture of like snow, and there's romance, and you've got like a country pub, and just everything you want in a book. So if you want those Dibley vibes, then I highly recommend this one. The next book I'm going to be talking about is Winter at the Dog and Duck by Jill Steeples, and this is about a woman called Ellie who works at a village pub called the Dog and Duck in a little village called Little Leighton, which kind of works quite well. And it's just kind of about, you know, her settling into the village and, you know, small village life. A lot of these books are obviously about village life and village communities, which is kind of what I gravitate to, even though I grew up in a city, a very busy city, Newcastle, so there's not really much countryside around. There is, but not that much. But I love like villages. Like my cousin lives in a village like near Morpeth, and oh, it's so beautiful. Whenever I go and stay, I just love it. I love like the scenery, and oh, it's just so beautiful. Really, really nice. But yes, this book is perfect. There's dogs, again, there's romance, and there's Christmas. This book is set in Christmas time, and it's so exciting because obviously I am a huge, 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 huge Christmas lover. So this book is absolutely perfect if you want those cozy kind of Christmassy magical vibes. Sorry, quick tea break. Oh, that is such, you know when you have like your tea and it gets that like perfect temperature? So nice. Anyway, the next book, not about tea but relating to coffee, is The Lemon Tree Cafe by Kathy Bramley, and I knew that I would have to include a Kathy Bramley book on this list somewhere, because her books are very just picturesque, sort of lovely chick lit books. I know I'm not making much sense with the descriptions, but bear with us. But this is a book about a woman called Rosie who goes to help her Italian grandmother in the Lemon Tree Cafe, which is situated in the rolling hills of Derbyshire. Derbyshire? I'm not sure. But I'm not very good with pronouncing like places names, so bear with me again. But yeah, this book is perfect. And I actually read this book a few years ago. We went on holiday to Sadari in Greece. It's like a little Greek island. It was for somebody's wedding, like one of me family friends' wedding. And so I read this while I was on holiday. So now when I kind of look at this book and I read this book again, it brings back those sort of coconut sun cream smelling memories that you just love from when you're on holiday. But yes, if you really like coffee and things like that, then you will really enjoy this book. I'll kind of new. Sorry, that was a really bad Scottish accent, but the next book is set in Scotland. So this is The Little Shop of Happily Ever After. Happily Ever After? Happy Ever After. I just assumed it was that, apparently. And this is about a woman called Nina who decides to hire a van and have her own little bookshop van, and she like drives it through the hills of Scotland, which is honestly like a pipe dream of mine. I would love to have like a little like library van or like a library like a bookshop van, just drive it like through the countryside. Like how good would that be? So this is like a definite like bookworm book for bookworms and book lovers out there, and the fact that it's set in Scotland as well, and that's like one of my favourite places in the world because my sister used to go to uni in Scotland. We would obviously, well, I wouldn't because I can't drive, but my dad would, like, it would be me, my mum, my dad, and we would obviously like drive her there. We would pick her up at like Christmas. We would drop her off there. I mean, drop off is a bit of a thing because it takes like a couple hours to get there. But I remember, I think it must have been like Christmas or something. We went to go pick her up, and it was like really dark. And then like on the way back, it had started snowing, so it was like a full on blizzard. Oh, it was the best. I'm pretty sure I like slept for most of that journey anyway. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked again. But yes, this is such a good book for if you love Scotland and if you love books. And again, she comes across a lot of quirky characters. I feel like in a lot of these books there's always a dog involved, and a dog in a chick lit book is always like top notch. I'm still looking for a chick lit book with a cat as like a main pet character because I'm more of a cat person myself. But yeah, this is such a good book, so I think you'd really enjoy it if you like that kind of thing. The next book is about a woman called, sorry, I didn't even introduce the title there. The Telephone Box Library, and I actually didn't realise that I have two other books by this author because I think this is the first like chick lit book that she's done, and she's done like two YA ones, and I didn't even realise that I have those books. So, mind blown. But anyway, so this is the Telephone Box Library, and it's about a little village called Little Maudley. I think I'm saying that right. And it's about a teacher called Lucy who decides to not like retire, but she just wants to relax and like rest her mind in this little village. And she's like, oh, not much is like gonna happen, stuff like that. And then she ends up getting sucked into the campaign to turn a telephone box into a volunteer run library, which I think is such a good idea. I've heard like articles about this kind of thing. There was a one near me somewhere, I think anyway, and it was about people wanting to turn a bus shelter that wasn't being used into a library, and I think that's such a cool idea. Like I've been wanting to do that around my area, but I doubt that would happen. But so this is a really really interesting book. It's a newer release. I think it either came out this year or last year, but I've had it for a little while. Now the next one I'm really excited about because it is a chick lit, but it's picked up from a old children's series. Now I don't know if anyone will remember this book, Kittens in the Kitchen Animal Arc. I was obsessed with this series when I was little. There was like a whole bunch of them. There was like Kittens in the Kitchen, Ponies in the Porch, I think. My favourite, I think, was Bunnies in the Bathroom, because that was like an Easter one, but yeah, that one was my favourite. But this was obviously the very, very first one. This came out in 1994, and then now you have Summer at Hope Meadows, which came out in 2017, and this picks up the child's character of Mandy Hope as an adult. Like, how cool is that? Oh, when I saw it, I was so excited because I remember like reading Animal Arc when I was little, and like you know, you go into your school library and you see them all like lined up on the shelf, and you're like, oh, I'll read that one next, and that one next, and that one, and oh, it was just so exciting. And I was like, that was like adult follow up, and that's like one of my favorite things when you get an adult or like a teenage follow up of like a children's series. I just think, beautiful, beautiful. But yes, so this takes this through the adult life of Mandy Hope, and she's now a newly qualified vet, and she comes back to the village of, I think, is it Welford? Yeah, I think it's Welford. So it takes us back to Welford, where obviously like she grew up and stuff like that. And it's really good as well because again it reminds us of Dibley, because not only is it a small village and you know you've got like animals and like romance and all that jazz, and quirky locals as well, you've got that. But the main reason why it reminds us of Dibley is because, and I've just forgotten the reason why it reminds us of Dibley. Because she's a newly qualified vet, and when she comes back to the village, they're like, oh, we don't want a new vet, like, you know, like that's not a good idea. And obviously, when Geraldine Granger came to the village in the Vicar of Dibley, nobody wanted her because she was a woman vicar, and obviously they'd been kind of raised to only, you know, have male vicars, because you know, like that's what how it was back in the day. So I like how this kind of it reminds us of that, how it's like the prejudice of, oh, we don't want a new vet, oh, we don't want a new vicar. But yes, this is just perfect, it's so good. It's just a bonus book, but this is favorite tea time recipes. I don't know why I couldn't say recipes there, but I got this from Beamish a few years ago, I think, and it's just like a really cute little like recipe book, and it's got like picturesque, like, hang on, find a good page, like village scenes, and it's just really cute, and it's got loads of like old fashioned recipes, like you've got Yorkshire tea cakes, almond slices, toffee bars, ginger biscuits, Viennese tartlets. That can't say that properly. Ginger dessert cake. I'm trying to find like a really really old, like a one that's like, butter drops. That is like an old school recipe. But this, I kind of wanted to include this because obviously one of the dearly missed members of the parish council in Dibley was Letitia Cropley, who I love very much, and I was very sad when she died in the Easter episode. Sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen Vicar of Dibley. But obviously she was the flower ranger for the parish council, but she also was a cook, a very weird cook, and she made lots of like odd things, like the Easter episode where, what was it, she makes pie, like they're having a committee about, no, having a meeting about, I think it's about Lent and like stuff, and like the Easter service and stuff like that, and she makes pancakes, or what is it, I think it's pancakes anyway, and she has, what is it, there's lard and anchovy or something like that, and then the other ones are the plain, and obviously they all go for the plain ones rather than the ones with lard in. So she was like a really weird chef, and she had like weird food combinations. But yeah, I thought I would include this one because it just reminded me of Letitia, and I think she was a really important and iconic part of Dibley, who was very, very dearly missed. Right, that is the end of today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you do, you can give it a thumbs up. You don't have to, you know, I'm not going to punch you if you don't. But enjoy this. I've got a book Instagram, but I just call it a bookstagram for short. It's at Megan Annie's Books, all one word. If you want to go over there and follow us and see me being like a weirdo with like my bookish antics,